Welcome to Just Minding My Business Media, LLC. Every day, we can learn and grow in unexpected ways. We may miss the opportunity if we close our hearts. Today, Just Minding My Business Media, LLC is pleased to welcome the contributing authors of the soon-to-be-released anthology, A Little Perspective, a special delivery from pregnancy to toddlerhood. Each of these women is a mother of a child with dwarfism. We look forward to learning much from them, their experiences, and the gifts they bring to life. Sally Vickery is a mother of 3 children, Oliver, age 10, and twin daughters, Ivy and Mila, who are 6. Ivy is average height, and Mila has SEDC, a rare form of dwarfism. Sally stays busy juggling all her children's extracurricular activities and managing to own and operate her own small family-owned business, Soul Shine Hemp Company. Sally has taken a career change and followed her heart to explore her entrepreneurial spirit. It is no surprise that she is using her empathetic, intuitive, and caring traits to open a holistic online boutique, Soul Shine Hemp Company, that focuses on the body as a whole, mind, body, and soul. Today, Sally joins us to share her story as a contributing author in the soon-to-be-released anthology, A Little Perspective, a special delivery from pregnancy to toddlerhood. Welcome, Sally.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. So tell us a little bit about your business.
So it's actually my sister and I. We were both therapists. She's an occupational therapist and I'm a physical therapist assistant, and have worked in pediatrics, pretty much my whole life. Like the past 10 years, that's what I did. Got laid off during COVID, and I started having personal health issues. So just kind of wasn't feeling the best and sought out different alternative methods. So found CBD, alternative diets, singing bowls, meditation, slowing the body down. Just a lot of different things. And with that, I kind of was on my own personal journey and kind of fell into the business where it helped me. CBD helped me, and just a couple other things that I was doing, the meditation and other things helped me. People saw me starting to feel better. So then people would come to me and be like, well, what are you doing? Why are you feeling better? What has worked for you? So it started out friends, family, and then neighbors. And I'm in a small community in Iowa, and we don't have a whole lot of places close to us where they offer that. So my sister and I just started offering things like this and going to health fairs and holistic health fairs and just craft fairs, different things, and just kind of getting the word out there that it's not always pharmaceuticals that will make you feel better, but there are other things that you can do. So we just kind of have a little side business.
Absolutely. And I like that because I'm pretty holistic too. I go towards the holistic before the pharmaceutical stuff. In fact, today my husband went to the doctors and they gave him some eye drops. Well, I looked it up. No, you can't have that.
Right. You have to do your own research. That's something where you want to make sure you know who you're getting your advice from,
Exactly. Because doctors, they do what they do. They prescribe medicine. And pretty much every time you walk in the door, you're going to get something.
Exactly.
So, now I'm to the place now where I check things out. We eat healthier, I do a lot of herbs. Matter of fact, I grow my own herbs, so I got to start harvesting it now.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, and I cook differently now, and it definitely, I can see the difference in my family, in their health. My husband is 80 years old, and really he only has 2 prescriptions.
And that's huge. Not very many people can say that.
Yes, exactly. And then he only has I think a bill of $80. At 80 years old, so many people have enormous health medical bills.
A pill box that big, and
Right. Exactly.
Middle of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to hear that you're doing that. So how can people connect to you in your business if they want to work with you?
We have an online store. So we don't have a brick and mortar store yet just because of where we are and location, but we ship out internationally and nationally. And so you can go to soulshinehempco.org. So
Okay.
SOULSHINE, hemp, HEMP, like company, co.org. And
Okay.
then right there, that's our website. We do have, we're always changing and adding more products, but I never sell anything until it's something that, me or my mom or my sister, or other people have tried and actually benefit off of. We've looked all across the country and we really do a lot of research with it. And we make sure that it's something that, we would endorse or we would give to my son. It's something that we want to make sure that we like. So yeah, you can check out the website. I do have Instagram, we have Facebook. I like to even talk to my customers on the phone. Like if they've never taken CBD, if they've never used it and they have questions, I help farmers, I help, different people, neighbors, and my family members. So I just kind of talk them through, and each body is different. I am not a doctor. And that's the big thing I want to say too. It's something that I've used through personal experience. So, I just kind of tell you what has worked and, what might work for you. So,
Okay. Okay. So you did send us that information so that we can make sure we put that out.
yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Absolutely. So your chapter in the book,
Yes.
give us a little snippet of what people can look forward to.
So mine is all about my pregnancy. And I'm a very personal person. I'm very private, very closed off. And typically I don't want a whole lot of people to know about my life. And so during my pregnancy, when I was going through this, I don't think I let a whole lot of people in except for, my close immediate people. But when this opportunity came up for me to, kind of talk and discuss about what happened and with the diagnosis of my daughter and everything, I just had a need that I had to kind of put this out there. So my pregnancy started out that I couldn't get pregnant, struggled with infertility, had a hard time getting pregnant, went from that, found out I was pregnant. From there, found out my husband had cancer diagnosis. So it's pretty much my whole chapter is going to be an emotional roller coaster of what it went from, all the highs, all the lows, the cancer. After cancer, went to the diagnosis of my twin daughters. So finding out that one of them might not make it and might not survive. And so the doctors told us, your daughter is looking small. Her long bones are measuring, about 8 weeks shorter. Her lungs are smaller. Is she going to make it? So it's kind of the emotional roller coaster of a mom to be, finding out that your child might not make it, and what if only one of your children, since you're having twins, what your future might look like, or if she does survive, how long will she be with you? So
Wow.
it was a hard pregnancy, probably the hardest 9 months I've had in my life. 2 abdominal surgeries. I had to have an ovary removed when I was 33 weeks pregnant. My husband had a testicle removed when I was like 12 weeks pregnant. So it was just a hard 9 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. And you made it through.
We did. Yeah, we made it through. And I think we're a lot stronger family and, stronger physically and emotionally and spiritually. I mean, it was a hard time. And that's where I feel like, because of that, I feel like I kind of had a story to tell and let other people know that you can get through these hard times. And, there is a brighter side.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what is the name of your chapter in the book?
God thinks I'm a badass.
Okay. I didn't see that coming.
I know, exactly. It was just, like I said, that I'm so quiet and I'm so to myself. And it was one thing after another in my 9 months. And people would just come up to me and say, "Hey, Sally, you're never given more than you can take. God only gives you what you can handle." And after hearing that about a dozen times in 9 months, I'm like, well, God must think I'm a lot tougher than I think I am myself. And it was, I wasn't giving myself enough credit. And I think, when you get through all those things and you get to the other side, you kind of realize you're a little bit tougher than you think you are. So
Yeah, because going through it, it's a roller coaster of
It is.
emotion. So I definitely can agree with you there. So how's your daughter doing now?
She's good. She's good. So I have twin daughters that are 6 years old, and one is average height, and then the Mila is got dwarfism, and she is just a little spitfire. I mean, like, my gosh, she has got a personality that, like, people gravitate to this girl. I mean, like, yeah, she's probably at least a foot shorter than, everyone in their class, but this girl, people just want to be with her. She's fun. She's got the personality that, people gravitate. They just want to be next to her because she's independent. She doesn't care what other people think about her. I mean, my gosh, if I could have a little bit of her in me, like, I would, I'd be so happy. Just so fun. Like, I absolutely adore her. So yeah.
So she feels like there's nothing wrong with me. I'm a beautiful young lady. Perfect.
Yeah. And if she can just keep that throughout life, I mean, that's where I'm hoping that, she'll just be able to keep that attitude and, get through this. So
yes. Wow. Yeah. And how's your hubby doing?
Good. So he was able to, like I said, he had the testicle removed. And then after that, we did about 5 years of just monitoring and, making sure everything was okay. And he didn't have to do any chemo, no radiation. And they thought the better approach would be just to have the testicle removed. And so it was testicular cancer, and then it hadn't spread to the rest of the body. So he's doing well. So
yeah. So you are a badass.
I know. My gosh, like, yeah, it was a rough one. At 29 weeks too. So 29 weeks is when we found out about Mila. 33 weeks, I had immense pain, and I go into that in the chapter as well, but I had immense abdominal pain, thinking I was going into my labor, and find out that no, it wasn't labor. It was an ovarian torsion. So the ovary had swollen in size from the size of a quarter up to the size of my fist, had twisted, and then had moved up to above my belly button. So then no doctors could figure it out for about a week. They had no idea what was going on. They thought I had a pinched nerve. And I was like, this is not a pinched nerve. Like, a pinched nerve doesn't feel like this. So finally find out that, yeah, this ovary had to be removed, or I was going to go into surgery. I was going to go into labor because of it. So I had to have an open abdominal surgery with twins that, at that point are 5 pounds big. They open up my body and have to remove my ovary. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That
all
is
together. It was
definitely a testimonial.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah. So Ruth, you want to add anything?
No, I think she said it all. It's an awesome journey.
Yes.
It was, yeah.
And the chapter is very fitting for what you went through.
Right. I know. I think that name came to me. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be either, but
and it's usually after you write, that's when the title pops up.
Exactly. Yep.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Sally. And we can't wait to read your chapter.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we shall talk soon. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Erica Shoemate is a tech policy leader and national security expert who also fights for the rights of humans with medically complex diagnoses, as experienced with her miracle daughter, Nia Alexandria. She has also experienced the death of a child after spending a grueling 118-day experience in the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit. Because of her experiences, Erica has deeply involved herself in the March of Dimes, as well as maternal health, women's and reproductive health, and clean beauty advocacy. She is here to tell us her story as she expresses it in the soon-to-be-released anthology, A Little Perspective, a special delivery from pregnancy to toddlerhood. Welcome, Erica.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome. What a journey.
Yes, indeed.
What a journey. So let's talk little bit about your work. that you do.
Absolutely.
So tell us about it. So what
Absolutely. Yes. So a little bit about my work in the maternal and infant health space. As a result of my daughter's journey, I really believe that my life's purpose and career trajectory, it shifted. Like everything became about my daughter, from how I lived, how I operated, what I ate, when I slept. And I knew that my purpose had been redirected. And knowing that at 20 weeks pregnant, so 5 months for those that are like, what is 20 weeks? We learned that my daughter had a condition that wasn't compatible with life. And to get that news and not expecting such news when it's supposed to be the most exciting day really transformed how I believe women should receive care, prenatal care, and understanding also the impact of how unfavorable diagnoses are shared. And so as a result of my own pregnancy journey into motherhood and postpartum, I've worked extensively with the two former neonatal intensive care units, serving on two advisory councils for the hospitals for families to enhance the patient experience and also to help families navigate the healthcare system. There are a lot of nuances that many people aren't aware of until you are thrown into the fire. And I always remind people that when you think about the cost of healthcare, unless you are wealthy, you're one incident, one tragedy away from bankruptcy. And I believe it is my mission to help other families when they get those unfavorable prognoses and diagnoses and how to navigate the NICU, working with the medical experts, the clinicians, the social workers. I work with the March of Dimes and bringing these issues to light, not just to talk about them, but having solutions around them. And we all know that legislation is where the real power is. And if you aren't changing your policies and laws, then you really aren't affecting much change. Like it's great to have, you know, a lot of movements and all these things, but we have to change the policies in order to really get to the root of the issue. And as a result of my own journey, that is the work that I have been doing, serving as a maternal and infant health ambassador, advocate. I really call myself a crusader. I speak for the voiceless and those that are maybe afraid to speak. They don't even know where to go. And it's not about like, you know, education is one thing, but education, I feel like has a whole bunch of tiered approaches to it because we can be educated, but it's having the right expertise for the thing that you are trying to seek help for. And it really is a skill and gift to understand how to navigate the healthcare system, because you can scream and shout, you might get some work done, but it's being able to have the calm, the poise, the directiveness. Like there's a lot of things that go into play when you are trying to be heard, and not just be heard, but how do you affect change? Because that the way you're affecting change is not just about you, is how I see my work. It is about making lasting change for babies like mine and for moms like me.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. That's definitely a calling. And we need more people like you. And I'm honored to meet you.
Thank you.
I'm very honored to meet you because, I mean, when you thrown in this situation, there's emotions, all of that tied up into it. And then you've got to deal with the politics.
Yes.
And most of it is walk, walk, walk.
It is. It's a lot of walking and also a lot of people telling you what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
And not necessarily putting you in a position of what is best for your child. Like, I'm going to give you this information, but if it, and even put in the shoes of if it were me, this is what I would do, because that's also helpful, because it brings a different level of empathy and compassion. And we did have medical professionals throughout our journey that did bring that empathy, let the ego stay at the door, but there are just not many professionals like that. And when you think about the maternal health space, and particularly Black women and women of color, we are not heard and seen. I can't say that everything about my journey was related to that, because I do believe I had medical professionals that listened to me. It was just very tragic and devastating to me mentally and emotionally to have my daughter, when I was pregnant, to learn that, you know, my daughter had a condition that wasn't compatible with life. And in many ways, it was a misdiagnosis. But I was informed and recommended, my husband and I, to terminate our pregnancy, not once, but twice. And at 5 months, you have a whole baby. Whatever your, you know, choices are about how you choose, I have no qualms about that. But as a mother and mom to be, you know that that baby is starting to move. So how dare you tell me that my baby is not living when that baby is living inside of me? Or it would be so tragic to even continue with your pregnancy. You should just, matter of factly, is what I was told, to terminate, heal, and start again. And to any mom, you already know the minute you become pregnant, you already have dreams for that baby. Medically, they call it a fetus, whatever. You already have dreams. Even for women, like unplanned, my pregnancy was definitely a surprise. I'm the type A woman and want all these things, and I'm gonna do it this way, and surprise. And I honestly never really even imagined myself as a mom. Like, I was very career driven, first generation college kid. And I just wanted to give back to my community and pay it forward and help other people. And I believe from a divine intervention standpoint, God had another plan for me that I was honestly didn't feel like I was ready for, but you have no choice. Because a lot of people ask me, oh my gosh, I don't know how you did what you did. I'm like, honey, you do, because you have to. And as moms, that motherly instinct kicks in. You can't describe it. All you know is you are fighting to keep your baby, and to take our journey and see it as, okay, I was so close to terminating my pregnancy. And I just want folks to hear this. I live in the Washington, D.C. metro area in Northern Virginia. Northern Virginia has a different law around termination. Maryland has a different law around late term termination. And yet I was being told medically, my daughter had a condition that wasn't compatible with life, but I also was fighting with insurance on, okay, medically, they told me that I should terminate my pregnancy, no real other options. And now the insurance company is telling me, because your baby isn't causing a physical risk to you, we will not approve termination. Let that sink in. So I am going to pay money to not save my baby, but to rid my baby. And again, this is no knock to choice. What I am saying is, when you have decided this is what you want for your family, and those are the choices that are presented to you, and then you find yourself, literally, your world is turned upside down. Physically, you're right, the baby wasn't causing an issue. I had an uneventful pregnancy from a physical standpoint. The piece that, you know, we have this whole conversation in the US and globally around mental health. Telling a mom to be, your baby is dead on arrival, changes you chemically, emotionally, forever. And those are the key lessons I think physicians should talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And it really affected me in ways I did not even know until I brought my baby home from the NICU. And my husband and I went through quite a bit of testing and different things like afterwards, like even the normal prenatal testing you would have never diagnosed our daughter or say, anything was wrong. Actually, we're told your baby is perfect. Like at my 12-week checkup, everything looked great. I passed all the screenings with flying colors. And then this news, and because I got a second opinion, we were able to get additional testing and send it to a specialized lab related to skeletal dysplasias. And we learned that our daughter had another condition that still had a high mortality rate, but there were a few babies known to live. And having what is called Ellis Van Creveld syndrome has less than 300 cases reported globally. And there wasn't a lot out there. Like one is less than 300 cases reported globally, but what's even more striking is I only know of 3 other families of color that have been impacted by specifically Ellis Van Creveld syndrome. And my husband and I, once we decided to carry our baby to term, we prepared for her funeral, her death. We had made peace with it. Like the last 6 weeks of my pregnancy, I got her a memorial gown. And I could not bring myself to call funeral home, so I had my husband to do it. And at 37 weeks, by then, we had learned her condition, and they were like, oh, her chest is growing, because the biggest thing around her initial diagnosis, short-rib polydactyly syndrome, the chest doesn't grow, the rib cage doesn't expand. And so essentially the baby would suffocate upon birth. And the doctor said it would be a horrific death, essentially. And the day leading up to her birth, I actually had one last pediatric cardiology appointment, because her condition also, about 80% of babies have a congenital heart defect. So not only we're talking about a pulmonology lung issue, we're now also talking about a heart issue, all these things. So again, hope for the best, expect the worst. You'll probably only get a few hours with your baby. Again, you're having to digest all of this. And now I'm at 37 weeks, and I learned at what would be my last appointment that I had no amniotic fluid. And to this day,
oh my God.
Yeah, to this day, they don't even know why, because my membranes had not had any issues. And beyond all of that, I also had an issue with my placenta that was never diagnosed. They call it a developmental cord insertion. And what we know about that is that it can actually cause a stillbirth. And so my high-risk specialist, because I transferred doctors, he was like, forget the fact that your daughter had this diagnosis. This condition could have been a thing within itself. And so I was advised, I had to deliver her. So I delivered her at 37 weeks and 4 days. And everyone, this operating room was packed. It was a C-section. The genetic counselors, all these people were expecting to see a limp blue baby. And on that day, Nia, which means purpose, screamed to the top of her lungs. And we all witnessed a real life miracle happen before our eyes. And it gives me chills still saying that to this day.
Wow. Wow. That is definitely a miracle. And that ain't nothing but the Lord.
Yes. Yes.
Nothing but the Lord. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And I have another opportunity to live. And because of Nia, I have been reborn, rebranded. All the things are in honor of her life, her legacy. She, on day one, was already shocking the world, giving the world a new vibration, energy. And now at 4 years old, she just turned 4 last Monday, September 27th. She's not only surviving, she is thriving. Wow. She has survived open heart surgery. Typically, babies with her condition can also have trachs. She was never intubated. None of these things. I mean, we know other babies that also hadn't been intubated, was very few. Like so the first year is a struggle. And if you can get through the first year, there is a lot more hope. And getting the point of me sharing my story is to remind folks that who may have been faced with something similar is that get the research, talk to the doctors. Like I was coordinating care for myself between the hospitals. Some information I had learned along the way, put it in the back pocket, never thought I would need it. And the day I needed it, my daughter had, I had already coordinated care between the two hospitals where Nia eventually transferred from. And my daughter coded at exactly 2 months of age in the NICU. She was one of the most stable babies in the NICU.
Wow.
And we thought our baby had died. It happened twice in one day. And having that information, having those conversations, it was like, you know, God can give you the beginning and the end. He ain't gonna tell you how the middle might look. And he was just prepping me for the things along the way. And I was able to pull that information out, and he would always have the right people in place to guide us along the way. And because of my persistency and my advocacy, with a little bit of grace and humility, I believe strongly Nia is where she is today. And the care she has received is a lot of because of being able to successfully navigate and advocate and really understand, taking the time to understand. And I know there are so many other moms and dads that do this thing, but it really is a gift to understand how to operate in this environment. And I just pray that my story, my journey, my husband and I's journey, that, you know, we just help other people who might be in what I would call an unimaginable position that people don't talk about. People say at the 20-week appointment that it's the most exciting day. They go through all the details. What they don't tell you is that people also in those 20-week appointments walk out with some of the most devastating news of their life. Never heard that until I knew one other person, but they were, you know, but it still didn't register. And I wish that those were the conversations we were having. And not that you have to talk about them all the time, but the awareness around what really happens at the 20-week appointment, because it blew me out the water.
I can only imagine.
Yes. So I'm not even going to ask what your chapter is about, because I kind of already
know what that's about.
So what is the name of your chapter?
Yes, that is a great question. It is dedicated Nia's journey.
And what a journey.
Yes, it really has been. So I'm just humbled by this whole experience.
So if people want to contact you, because I know that people that are going to hear this, there's somebody out there that's going through it or getting ready to go through it. How do people get in contact with you?
Absolutely. I can be reached at FOR Nias, NIAS, journey, JOURNEY, @gmail.com. So together forniasjourney@gmail.com. And also I have a blog. I'm a mom blogger sharing my daughter's journey. I just wrote her third open letter. Like every year since she turned 1, I've been writing open letters to her so that she can archive them and review them one day. So that's also www.niasjourney, forniasjourney.com. And I can be reached there as well. But definitely email is easiest for niasjourney@gmail.com. And you can also follow Nia's Journey on Instagram at Nias_journey.
Okay, well, we are so privileged to hear your testimony and your story with Nia.
Thank you.
You are a miracle, and so is she.
Thank you so much for the time and opportunity and space.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Today, we welcome Allison, who is the mother of Jackson, a child diagnosed with Diastrophic Dysplasia. She says that she and her husband have used humor to take them through the tough times. They are happy to see that their humor is passed down to their son, who has this rare form of dwarfism. They believe his humor will help him as a little person to break the ice and make others feel comfortable as he grows up. Today, Allison is here to share her experience, strength, and hope as contributing author to the soon-to-be-released anthology, A Little Perspective, a special delivery from pregnancy to toddlerhood. Welcome, Allison.
Welcome, Allison. Turn your phone horizontal.
Oh, got it.
I mean, the long way, like this. There you go. There you go.
Okay.
I love real people. Welcome, Allison. Tell us about your journey. So what do you do?
So I am,
We lost your pretty beautiful face.
oh, geez, what is going on here? Okay, there we go. Am I back? Okay.
Yeah.
So I actually, I work here with a company, our local company here in Virginia, where I live, with a indoor swim school facility. So I am there every day, either just working either in the water with kids, teaching lessons specifically, or managing our young staff that do the majority of the lessons. So I work with kids primarily, whether they're little kids or on their way to being adult kids.
Okay, so tell us about your journey with dwarfism as a mother.
Yeah. So my little guy, Jackson, he's about to be 6. So 6 years now. Well, really more than that. Is tomorrow actually is the day that we found out, the 7th of October, that he was going to be different. And at the time, it was a real shock and a real, truthfully, disappointment. It was not, we didn't expect, you don't expect to go to, an appointment at 20 weeks, pregnant with your first child and have the doctors tell you something's wrong with your baby. And that, things don't look the way they should. So, that's where the journey started for us. And, it was very difficult in the beginning. There was a lot of fear about not knowing, was it going to be something that would allow him to, live beyond birth? That's a real possibility. There are so many forms of dwarfism, and there are many that are lethal and not compatible with life outside of the womb. And we just wanted answers. We immediately, my husband and I, kind of went into not solving, but preparation. We like to be prepared. We want to know as much as we can about whatever the topic is or whatever the situation. And that's, I think, served us well as a coping mechanism at that point. People would ask me, like, well, why does it matter if you know what kind of dwarfism, or, why does, you just have to wait and see, and all, kind of that sort of, does it change anything for you? And it didn't change anything for us, of course, but we just felt that to be the best parents, everybody wants to be the best parent, do the right thing for their kids. And so, for us, that was important to be able to have as much information as possible, to be prepared and to understand and, navigate those challenges and maybe anticipate some of the, challenges, whether it be the health and medical challenges, or just, challenges in life with being different, being born with a disability. So, things went from seemingly really bad in the beginning. And, I would say probably now I'm not super proud of, and maybe a little bit guilty about how we did respond in the, the very early days about, why God, why is this happening to us? And, what did we do to deserve this? And, that sort of, I think, grief and, feeling like something terrible has happened, gave way to very quickly understanding that it was not what we had planned. And, we had some expectations about having a kid that were probably not going to be met and be realistic, but we found now, our approach is that there isn't anything he can't do. We just have to help him find a way to do it, for himself, or he has to help him, we have to help him to find a way for himself to do things. Sure, there are things that aren't maybe on the table. He's not going to play football. He's probably not going to be in the NFL. But, that, changes things only to the degree that the expectations we had for him, which even as a parent of an average child, you have expectations that go unmet when your, child becomes who they're going to be. So that sort of grieving of that idea of him, quickly fell away, because we not only gathered the information, but we met, or I guess connected virtually with a number of other parents and families that, shared their stories. And we were just, kind of beside ourselves with how, hopeful and how joyful and how, normal, things were for them. And, they really gave us a lot of hope and a lot of, support to know that, things were going to be okay, no matter how they turned out for us and for him. And so that's really been our, the trigger, the reason for us being involved in this project is to be able to share our story in the same way, that, will hopefully benefit, at least one or two other families in a similar situation. And, and at the same time, share our story, about Jackson and, how different is, everybody's different. Different is not a negative thing.
Yes,
Okay, I
absolutely.
do have a question for this. How soon after the birth of Jackson did you have that moment of the joy of recognition of him being, even though he was small, a whole human being, a whole human?
Yeah, that's wow. Yeah, that's that's a great question. I think pretty quickly. I mean, we were there in the hospital with him, for almost 5 weeks after he was born. And I had a C-section. So the first few days, there's lots of pictures and video, but I don't remember a lot of it. So it's good. We did, we took pictures left and right, because nobody, people couldn't come in and see him right away. But I think I was probably sort of stunned to see this little, the dwarfism part of it aside, like we just had a kid, like this is our baby. And, he was small, but so cute. And so he seemed just perfect to us, really right from the get-go. So yeah, I mean, it wasn't, I don't think very long at all.
No.
And I think that's important, because people, again, lack of knowledge. People don't know that much about dwarfism.
Yeah.
And they have their own perspective about it. And the bottom line is that with any other child that has any other type of disability, born with a disability. And that's what I'm going to call it, a disability.
Yeah.
They're still fully human. And that's what you get from them when you meet a child who has some sort of disability, but their personality, their humanness shines through. And I think that's one of the great lessons from doing this, all of these interviews for a little perspective, is for people to recognize that, you know, our differences do not make us who we are. There is something so much more to us, and it's something that's given to us actually at conception. Even though it may look different at birth, it's the same point of beauty. And that's why we love being around babies, because there's
Yeah.
that freshness, that joy
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they bring with them is just, it's infectious. So I'm glad to hear you talk about that. And thank you for sharing your experience with us.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if
Thank
people
you.
want to reach out to you, how do they do so?
Sure. So we are very active on social media. Well, I say we, my husband and I wrote the chapter together, me more so active on social media than he is. But Jackson is quite active now as well. He's started to kind of figure that out and make videos. So I'm on Facebook. I'm Allison Harvey Griffin on Facebook. And then probably the best way is Instagram. We have an Instagram account for Jackson. He's Jack Harvey G at Instagram. And then I'm Allie 0126 on Instagram. That's the best way to find us. And you can email, we're harv79@gmail.com. So we love to, hear from folks' questions or, comment and share.
I have one more. In
Yeah.
your introduction, I mentioned about your child, you and your husband's use of humor, and the fact that your son seems to have been given that
Yeah.
gift as well. Can you talk a little bit about that? Just a moment.
Yeah, of course. Even before I met my husband, Chris and I got together, my sort of defense, or I guess coping mechanism, uncomfortable, I just kind of have a nervous laugh. But I also, comedy, laugh, we just love to laugh. And that's one of the things that kind of bonded us together. We have, a little bit of a goofy personality, each of us in our own way. And either genetically or just having rubbed off on our kiddo, on Jackson, has been really helpful. Some of the things that we just have navigated with him along the way, I mean, none more than, even in the early days, we talked about the things we were worried about and the fears we had for him. And, my number one was, how is he going to use the bathroom? Like, talking like jokes about using the, potty humor, literally.
Yeah.
And so, because I think when you can find, finding humor in the things that are, like you said, we're real people, difficult or challenging or uncomfortable, kind of helps you sort break through that, or kind of, conquer those kind of things. And, and Jackson's got just kind of the personality that he'll even say, Mom, well, I was trying to make you laugh, He's picked up on that, he can get away with a lot of things if everybody's laughing and has a smile on their face. So, I think being that he's different, people are going to, notice. They already do notice, but they're not noticing and staring. They're noticing and seeing that he's, a funny kid. And so that, I hope, will help him, as a way of, coping or breaking the ice or connecting throughout, his years as he grows. And, he's in kindergarten and he'll be in public school soon, and that'll have a whole new set of challenges, I'm sure, to confront. So I think that he's got something there going for it.
Yeah, excellent.
Yes. Wow. Well, Allison, we are so happy that you came and graced our stage today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
We definitely love your humor, and we're glad you passed
Smile.
it down to Jackson. Because I like to smile. I think, I get upset about things. I might go through a minute of what? And then after a while, it's like I make a joke out of it, because what else can you do?
Yeah. It's
What
true.
else
It's
can you
true.
do? Well, thank you so much. We are looking forward to read. And what's the name of your chapter?
Yep. Our chapter is moments.
I know everybody's like, we've been so involved with the conversation. What is the name of my chapter?
What are we doing here?
Thank you so much, Allison. We appreciate
You're welcome.
you.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Our next person, also from A Little Perspective, a special delivery from pregnancy to toddlerhood, is Sasha Albright, who is a compassionate professional. She is an author, advocate, and educational specialist with a passion for ending social stigmas surrounding dwarfism. As a proud mother of a daughter with dwarfism, Sasha understands her advocacy as a mandate, challenging current culture to embrace those with differences found outside of societal norms. Today, she furthers her advocacy as a contributing author to the soon-to-be-released anthology, A Little Perspective, a special delivery from pregnancy to toddlerhood. Welcome, Sasha.
Right.
Oh,
Hello, thank you for having me.
Hi, Miss Sasha. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Good, good, good. Thank you for coming to our stage today. And just give us a little bit about who Sasha is.
I am a mother to 3 lovely daughters. I like to think that I'm an educator and an advocator. I do like to work with children within the school system. Girl Scout troop leader, big time Bama fan, roll Tide.
All righty. So what was your inspiration in terms of being a part of this book? Give us a snippet of your chapter.
My very first inspiration, of course, is my daughter. She's 3. Her name is Kaylani. She is just full of sass, 100%. And I wanted to be a part of something. She's my only experience with dwarfism. I'd never known anyone else that was an LP before having her. So of course I wanted to be a part of something that was going to make the world a better place for her. The book project came along, and as a writer myself, because I do write a lot anyways, this was just like the perfect outlet for me. I will read a little snippet of my chapter for you.
Okay.
I'm going to start from the very beginning, I guess, because I think that's a good place to start, is the beginning. My pregnancy was mostly uneventful, aside from the fact that I was 40. I did have gestational diabetes, had to watch my diet. I had more appointments than normal than with my other pregnancies because of that advanced maternal age. During the 9 months, I had a dozen ultrasounds. I had blood work that was meant to find abnormalities and potential issues with the unborn child. And nothing was amiss for 8 months. Nothing showed up at all. At the 9th month scan, the OB voiced concerns at the weight, the largeness of my baby. You'll need a C-section, is what she said, because your baby's measuring very large. My best guess is 10+ pounds. Let's just go ahead and schedule that. My daughter had her own plans and decided to come 5 days prior to the C-section. I did have amazing nurses in labor and delivery that helped me with every trick they had from their combined 30 years experience. And it worked. There was no C-section. As it turned out, that very large baby girl was, in fact, not a large baby at all. She has a genetic mutation that's known as achondroplasia. But at that time, that information, it didn't come till later on. But you'll have to buy the book and read the book to find out the rest.
Wow. That's funny because I was 39 when I got pregnant. And like you, I had to go through, special treatment because of my age and all of that kind of stuff. And my baby was large. He was 10 pounds.
Bless your heart.
Yes. So tell me, how has life been with your baby? How does your baby now?
In those early years, it was incredibly, it was a whirlwind, and it was just an incredibly large learning experience all the way through. Did a lot of Googling, a lot of reading, a lot of research, a lot of doctor's appointments. A lot of people say, oh, well, they're just little, or she's just going to be small. I wish that were all there was to it, because we did have a lot of doctor's appointments, a lot of specialists that I didn't expect, a lot of worry on my behalf, worried about doing something wrong, not doing things the right way. Was I making the right decisions and choices in like doctor's appointments and procedures that she'd have, surgeries? She did have her very first surgery at 9 months old. You'll read about that too. So it was a learning process. For me, being a seasoned mom and having 2 other kids, it was, I thought, oh, this is going to be easy. Another girl, no problem. We got this in the bag. It's going to be no problem. Even at 41, no problem. It was completely different. Completely different.
Wow. So if people want to reach out to you, how do they do so?
We are on Instagram at Sasha Lee 1213. Kaylani is my daughter, and she does have her own Facebook page. It's titled Parent Size Princess in a Big World. And then also included, I don't think I have the actual link for that. So
that's okay.
Sorry.
You can send it to us and we'll make sure people get it. Yes. Wow. So you just doing mom stuff. That's where you are
doing
right now, on the mom stuff. Okay. Wow. That is just interesting. So your daughter now, how old is she?
She's 3.
She's 3. And she doesn't.
Going on 13.
Oh yeah, I know. I know those. So what's her personality like?
She is super sassy. She is strong, independent. I can do it. I'm not a baby. She's also like very loving. She doesn't meet a stranger at all. Like she'll just talk to anybody. And I think that's amazing because she's got this big personality and this big smile, and she just, hi, how are you? How's your day? And wants to know about you. So I think that a lot of times, especially with children, they kind of don't see that yet. It takes them a little while before they realize, wait a minute, how old is she? She's talking really good. Are you sure she's not a baby?
Yes. So we probably like to have, especially the parents, as the kids get older, we're probably going to want you to come back and tell us what's going on at, let's say, 10 years old or something like that. Yes. Well,
We'd love to be a part of that.
Yes, absolutely. But you seem like to be a very chipper mom and definitely up for the journey.
We're all about whatever we can do to bring education, advocacy, awareness, and pretty much to just show people that, yes, she does come in a different package, but she still she's still a kid. She still likes bubbles, books, blocks, baby dolls, getting dirty, popsicles when she shouldn't have.
A regular kid.
A regular kid in a lot of ways. Just like she does have a smaller package with, just a few things like milestones come a little harder, but she'll get there. We just got to sit back and let her do it her own way.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Sasha, for sharing your story. We truly, truly appreciate you and looking forward to reading it. And what's the name of your chapter? I don't think I asked you that.
I don't think you did. I had that wrote down here in this paper, and my cat knocked all my papers off.
That's okay. That's okay. Things happen, but we'll find out what it is.
I'm muted. I think my sound went crazy
Yeah,
when
we
I had,
can hear. Yeah, we got to.
I had a phone call come in, and sometimes that cuts me out and throws me out.
Yes, but we hear you. Yes, so we'll definitely be following.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I got it back. Thank you so much. I apologize for that. The phone call comes in and it throws everything off.
That's okay. That's okay. We in the real world.
Right, a very real world.
And things happen. So thank you so much, Sasha. We appreciate you. And we're looking forward to following your journey with your baby.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it, ladies.
Absolutely.
So now we move on to Angela Singletary, who is a successful life and wellness coach, best-selling author, and a motivational speaker. She combines her empathetic and positive coaching style with her passion for wellness in her life and wellness coaching business, Purpose by Ange. Purpose by Ange bloomed from her passion to help others. With her life and wellness coaching skills, she helps her clients find wellness, mind, body, and soul. She feels that it's her life's destiny to guide and support others as they grow and begin to live their best life. Angela is the visionary behind A Little Perspectives, Real Stories of Little Ladies, as well as what we have been talking about, a special delivery from pregnancy to toddlerhood. Welcome, Angela.
Yes. Unmute, my dear.
Sorry.
It's okay. Wow. Angela, you pulled it off, my lady.
Oh man.
These ladies are so amazing.
Yes, they really are. They really are. It's awesome.
It has been awesome. It has been stuff, as with anything we do. It's always little nuances in the background. But
Yeah.
here we are, and it has been an amazing journey for us. So tell us real quickly, what inspired you to put these anthologies together?
Yeah. So October is Dwarfism Awareness Month, and I have achondroplasia dwarfism. And last year I started a podcast, A Little Perspective, and interviewed just various little people I knew just to talk about, some of the things where we're similar, some of the things where we're different, some of the accommodations we require, just kind of a peek as to who we are as little people. And this year, I thought I'd like to do something bigger. And I've had the joy of being a part of a couple of books already. And it just hit me that this would be a really great way to just bring true awareness, because these ladies are able to tell the stories with their words instead of, someone else reiterating them and then maybe expanding on them and not keeping it quite, unique and true. And so I was excited to be able to do this.
Yes. And I mean, we were excited to interview each and every one because it just shows you it doesn't matter the size of the package.
Mm-hmm.
That everybody has something to offer.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. And I mean, this is just an outer shell.
Right. Yeah.
That we had no control over.
At all.
It is what it is. Here we are. So what are we going to do with this thing called life? Mm-hmm. And all of these ladies have done some amazing things.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And we're just so happy that you brought them to our platform and allow us to share with our audience these amazing ladies.
Thank you.
For sure. We really appreciate it. So tell everybody a little bit about your business and what you do.
Yeah, so I have two businesses. I'm a life and wellness coach with Purpose by Ange. And so I help women over 35 find self-love and freedom get unstuck, and I help them reach their goals. And then I have a communications company, A Little Perspective, where I have, my podcast, and then I have A Little Perspective book series. This book, the special delivery book, being the second, the Little Ladies book is the first, and then there will be, more to come. And then also I do public speaking. I love to talk about different things, whether it be like affirmations and meditation, or talk about bullying and self-confidence and things like that.
Okay, wow. So you're just a package full of goodies.
Yeah.
For sure. So we're going to go ahead and bring all of your authors back in so that everybody can see everybody together. Because we had a blast. I'm telling you.
Very good.
Very, very good. These ladies are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The stories were so heartfelt.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. Okay, do I have everybody? Okay.
And they have the cutest kids.
Yes, I'm sure they did, because they're all beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, ladies. You ladies brought it.
Yeah.
You really brought it, and we really appreciate hearing from you and being able to get people to understand this is just the outer shell. There's so many big things that come from up here, from our mind and our heart. And it doesn't matter the package. It matters how are you bringing it to the world. And all of you are doing some amazing things. And I am just honored to know you and to have met you. So thank you so, so much.
Yes, indeed. Really a privilege to hear each one of your stories. Angela, thank you for bringing all of these lovely ladies together. And thank you all for having the courage to love your children for who they are. So many people have children who are quote unquote normal, but they haven't learned to love them the way that you have. And to share that love with everyone is just really something, because there's an old song, what the world needs now is love. And each one of you exemplify that in the work that you're doing with your child and making decisions to have your children and to raise them just to be people, just to be who they are, so that they can be loved for who they are. So thank you so much. It says so much about each one of you. I really appreciate having met each one of you. You've added to my life. Thank you.
Absolutely. Erica, you want to unmute? I had to mute. Somebody has a little bit of background noise, so I kind of unmuted you. So any last words, ladies?
Just want to say thank you so much for the opportunity, the space for all of us, each and every one of us, to really share our story, our journeys, all very unique. We're on our own journey, but yet we are all on the same journey. And it is so important for us as mothers and fathers, I would say, because the support system is real, to be able to leave the world a little bit better than how we came into this world, and leaving that legacy for our miracles is nothing short of warrior-like, quite frankly. It's gladiator mentality. And it does take a special human to give the love that each and every one of us have given. Like to your point about loving your kids, there are people that love their quote unquote average, normal kids. There are people out there like that as well. But I do believe that our assignments are so unique and only certain people are built for those assignments. Did we raise our hand for this club? Nope. But we have definitely turned our lemons and made them lemonade. And I am just so grateful to be a part of this anthology and collaboration. Thank you, Angela, for all of your hard work and efforts to get us here. And this is another extra tool for someone who will come along behind us. And now they have a resource to know that it's not all bad. There is good and there's light, and our babies matter.
Yes.
No matter how big or small. I mean, heck, I'm actually small myself. I just don't have a condition. And it doesn't matter, like you said, how it's packaged. It's how we show up in the world. And I think that it is important for society to know that and to realize people are people. We say that when we see our everyday people, but I think it's important to highlight that no matter how tall, how short, whatever, we all matter. And our little miracles definitely matter in this world.
Absolutely. Amen to that.
Yes, indeed.
All righty now. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are definitely going to be doing this again because we have now met and it is now on. So, so thank you so much, ladies. We appreciate you. And we're going to definitely be following your journeys from this day forth. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You.